Welcome back, folks. Well, or if you're brand new, welcome for the first time. And if you're brand new, also, if you're not a follower or if you're a returning visitor and are not a follower, do me a favor before you leave. If you like what you're seeing, down here in the bottom right-hand corner, hit like and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Now then, this morning, and it is morning, we are going to make one of my old Army favorites. It's going to be, as the Army would call it, cream beef. Out here in the real world, some of us might call it hamburger gravy, or some of us might call it S.O.S, and others might call it on a shingle. But at any rate, it's all the same thing. Now, the first time I ever encountered hamburger gravy was when I was a kid. We had neighbors down the road, and they had 11 kids. And one time, my brother and I, we were down there when they were eating, and they were making hamburger gravy, as they called it. And they invited us to have some. And so that was the first time I ever encountered it. I tried to get my mom to make it once, or at least hinted that I would like to have had it made, but that never happened at home for whatever reason. But then again, I never had hamburger gravy again, or cream beef, up until I went into the military in the Army, and then I had it almost every day. Honestly, I had it almost every day. I liked it that much. And then, since I've been out of the Army, I've actually made it very few times, which is kind of odd. I really do like it. But out here in the real world, I tend to go towards sausage gravy. But today, we're going to go in here and we're going to make cream beef. So let's get turned around and see how we go about this. It's a very simple recipe. Okay, so the first thing I need to do, I need to peel some garlic here. And I think I just smashed it more than I peeled it. But it didn't make it easy to pull the skin off of there. Much more easy than at other times. Root in. Let's see if this one's so easy. It is. How about that? That's the way we like it. Now, a lot of recipes that I see for cream beef, S.O.S, whatever you want to call it, does not have garlic. And maybe that stems from the cook in the Army that the people may have had, or in the military. I don't know if the other branches have cream beef as much as the Army did or not. I was only in the Army. Okay, so there we go. We got our garlic all ready. Now then, it is time to get this ground beef. I like to use 80-20, meaning 80% meat, 20% fat, for most of my cooking purposes. Also known as ground chuck. Alright, there we go. Let's get turned around over here to our skillet. Okay, so I'm going to turn my heat to medium high here. We're just going to take this pound of ground beef and we are going to just break it up in our pan. I too like using my non-stick for gravies. Most other things I use my cast iron. Wash my hands. I'll be right back. Now, for making gravies, I like to use a slotted spatula, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. Now, as this cooks, we're going to continually be breaking this down, this hamburger down, into smaller pieces. And the more it cooks, the easier it will be to break down. We don't need to do it all at one time. Now that we appear to be about halfway done with browning this, I want to go ahead and add in my onion powder, and my garlic. Of course, if you want to use garlic powder, I don't think you're going to be very far off of true military style cream beef. Now you see how easily that breaks up very fine. And if you've ever made sloppy joes or something like that, it's virtually identical. Alright, looks like we've got all of our pink out of our meat now. So I've got my 4 tablespoons of flour here. We want to add that right in. Notice how that really dries things up. We want to brown this flour just a little bit because that will take the raw flour taste out of it. I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon, that'd be the small ones, of salt. We can always add more, but you can't take it out. Go. Salt and pepper is really to your own taste. I like pepper, so I'm going to give it a good crack. Just like that. But I don't know where you get your beef, as Emerald used to say, or your meat. But my meat doesn't come seasoned. Okay. I think we got a little bit of browning going on our flour now. Now we're going to come in with our 3 cups of milk. There's one. And there's 3 altogether. Now, here's where I use the slotted spatula. I like to press the meat through the slots. Not so much the meat having to go through the slots, but I like to press the meat because that's going to help mix the flour out of the meat and put it into the solution of the gravy. Now we want to bring this to a boil because that's where our thickening power for our flour is going to come from, is by taking this to a boil. And then once we start getting thick, we're going to want to taste it again for salt or pepper or any other spice you think you might like it. You can see we're beginning to thicken. Okay, we're up to a pretty good boil here. I want to go ahead and turn my heat down to low. And if you hear the ticking in the background, that would be my shingles at work in the toaster oven. You know, we can leave kind of like a path behind. We're starting to get there. And you just want to reduce this down to your desired consistency. Make sure you're not going to scorch it on the bottom. And the thicker it gets, the easier it might be to scorch. Also keep in mind that as this cools, it will get thicker. See how we're leaving that path behind us now? Okay, I've turned my heat off now. I'm pretty satisfied with my thickness. My shingles. There you go. That's cream beef. S.O.S, hamburger gravy, or on a shingle. Take your pick. Okay, I'm going to dress this up with a little more fresh cracked pepper. Make it look a little pretty for the camera here in a minute. Alright folks, let's get turned around. It's time to eat. Folks, this took me less than 45 minutes to make, from start to finish, and I was filming, which adds time to the cook. Now, so this is a very quick and easy meal to make. If I can get it cut apart with my fork here. Here we go. The hamburger, the spices, meaning the onion powder, the garlic, all come together to make the whole here. Definitely fond memories with this. Alright folks, one last bite. Folks, if you like what you're seeing, down here in the bottom right hand corner, hit like and subscribe. And stay tuned. There's always more to come. And thanks for watching. Mm-mm-mm.